Okay. Guys, ready up. Okay, so we are back live. So what has happened for those of you who have no idea what has happened, the game fucking crashed for everyone because EA, and we're starting again from qualifying. This is round 11, Austria, Red Bull Ring. Oh, Jesus, I am tired. I am very tired. Okay, we are back on track. And the first one to leave the track is an Aston Martin. Which one is that? That is the Aston Martin
guys,
of Iconic.
be aware, the car's ready to go.
ไปไปไปไปไปไปไปไปไปไปไป
And behind him, I think that's the
ไป
Alpha Tauri of Amstel. And behind him, that is Elip in the Red Bull. So, Iconic will be the first one to start the lap. So let's go on board with him. He's warming up the tires very nicely and carefully. This is a very, very short track, so we should be seeing a lot of cars coming in. And let's go. So let's go on board out of the final corner. And Iconic crosses the line to start his flying lap into the first corner. He doesn't use the curb on the left, but he does get out of the exit very nicely. And is that a Ferrari that has spun and brought the yellow flag back with Iconic? This is the trickiest part of the circuit, arguably. That is turn 3 very nicely. Try not to get wheel spins out of the exit. The Red Bull just makes way for the Aston Martin, and again doesn't use uses a bit actually of the curb on the left this time. Very well, very nicely into the uses the curb on the outside, turns very nicely, clips the apex, uses all the curb. Again, clips the apex, trying not to spin on the curb on the left, uses all the curb on the outside very smoothly, uses the curb on the left as well. Use that curb to spin the car a bit, and he does spin way too much on the last corner. And I think that's Amstel in for his lap. He makes 1 minute 7 to make provisional. Actually, Elip makes provisional pole with 1 minute 6. And Jeeb is in P2. Actually, in P3, Hammer Time. Actually, in P4, Hammer Time. San goes second fastest with a 1 minute 6.9, and Hammer Time right behind him with a 1 minute 7 flat, and a 10th behind him is Jeeb, and Donavini goes 5th fastest and that is Simple
Okay,
in provisional pole with a 1 minute 5.9, and next across the line I think is Marky in the Alfa Romeo. That is he goes 7th fastest, and is that the Ferrari pitting? Yes, that is the Ferrari pitting. He does not commit to that lap, and Human Sweet Potato goes 3rd fastest with a 1 minute 6.7, and his teammate Pass for the Win goes 11th fastest with a 1 minute 17.6, and I think that's the other AlphaTauri of AMSA. He does not improve, and behind him is EA Lip. No, never mind. Is Hammer Time. He pits. I think that's Joe committing to his lap. That is. He goes 6th fastest with a 1 minute 7 flat. So Hammer Time and Joe split with just 3/1000 of a second. And is that Simple going to the pits? Yes.
Standing by.
Time Zero is now starting his outlap, and his teammate Marky is in the side of the track, waiting to safely rejoin. The two Mercedes passes by. Human Sweet Potato, is he still on a flying lap? No, he is on his in lap. And Pass for the Win is 11 seconds down, and he is on his flying lap. Indeed, he goes 2nd fastest, right behind Simple. He pushes the lip down into P3 with that 1 minute 6.5, just a 10th ahead of the Red Bull, and until pits. And I think, yes, Jeep and the Williams pits as well. The other Haas, oh yes, Joe is pitting now, and both of the Ferraris are on their outlap. Langi, who has gotten pole position in the previous race in the British Grand Prix, is now about to start his flying lap. And that is the other Alfa Romeo of Time Zero. I think he is just finishing up his flying lap. I think this might be a good time from him, very clean from him, and that is P2 for him. Time Zero goes 2nd fastest, pushing Pass for the Win down into P3. That is just 2/100ths of a second behind between the two. And Apple Pie, the reserve driver for Ferrari, is now just starting his flying lap. And next across the line, I think, is the AlphaTauri, but that is San on its outlap. So the next across the line to produce a time will be Langi. And so let's go on board with him. He's just coming out of Sector 2, and we are predicting a very, very good time from him, as he has produced in the previous races. That's a yellow flag because of a car that has just stopped, and that is provisional pole indeed for Langi, pushing Simple down to P2 with a 1 minute 5.1, and I think that's Time Zero. And Apple Pie takes the provisional pole away from his teammate with a 1 minute 4.7. He almost spun on that lap, but that is okay. Sinatra has just started flying lap, and that is Elip just finishing off his lap. San is about to finish his flying lap, but he does not improve. And behind him is the Aston Martin of Iconic. He only improved by around a 10th, but it is enough to put him into P3, pushing Simple down to P4. And I think that is Ye Lip on P, going 3rd fastest. That is 9/10 down from his previous time, pushing Iconic into P4.
One lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty.
And And that's the
Oh,
Alfa
teammate.
Romeo of Marky. He goes 9th fastest, and behind him, Sinatra goes 3rd fastest, right ahead of his teammate.
Come on,
Lip
move.
with a 1 minute 5.5, 2/10 separating the two Red Bulls. And Marky, that has been pushed down to P11. His time was a 1 minute 6.7. So, I think the Haas is next to. Oh, he just retires the session. He has just retired from the session. I think. Oh, Yelip is now pitting. I think Iconic is going for another lap. Most definitely not the previous lap, but he is, I think, on another lap at the moment. And that next across the line is, I think that was Amsal, maybe on his out lap or hasn't improved
볼 포지션. 볼 포지션.
out of the pit. And Donavi has just started his out lap, and Jeeb is pitting. And I think that is San on his flying lap, perhaps. Yes, he is on his flying lap. What time could he produce? Marky has just left the session due to a connection problem. I think San stays P13, and Heim 0 in the Alfa Romeo. He starts his out lap, and I think that's Donavi on his flying lap. Oh no, that is the other Aston Martin on his flying. No, he is in his in. He was on his in lap. Iconic pits. The AlphaTauri of Amsal does not improve. Next across the line is Langi just starts his out lap, and as does Human Sweet Potato, and I think that is Donavini is 5/10 of his previous lap. What time could he produce? He goes 13th fastest, pushing San down into P14, and San gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Heim 0. Not
빠른데
sure what
나오나?
has happened there.
좀 일초들이
Maybe we
맞네.
can go on
좀
board
일초.
with Heim 0, but San is out of his
이기겠는데?
sights already. San, I think, will be pitting this lap. What is Heim 0 on a flying
28.
lap? I think next across the line would be Amsal, but he is
28.9.
2 seconds off the pace.
0.1초들이다.
But Langi,
똑같다.
here is
여기까지 똑같다길.
a time to look forward to. Will he be able to improve and take pole position away from his teammate? I think he might just be able to, and that is he is just 2/100th of a second short from his teammate. That is unfortunate.
오.
And that is
퀄리파이 시작하는데.
Haas. Simple in the Haas and his out lap. Hammer Time also on his out lap. Human Sweet Potato. Actually,
Okay,
no.
so far our fastest lap
Now
is at
on
1
board
minute
with Heim 0, who is
04.7.
now around a 10th of his previous lap. What time could he produce here? He's performing very well in comparison to the other tracks. I think this is one of the tracks he is better at. He is now almost a 10th and a half off his previous record. What time could he produce? He is using all
We're
the
16th in the speed trap,
track
322.3 kilometers per hour.
16.
and he stays seventh
Top speed가?
fastest, I think. Yes.
제일 느려?
Next
Top
to
speed가?
cross the line is simple, but I think he is pitting. Jeep, however, is improving. He is 1/10 off his previous time. What time could he produce this time? And does he? Yes, he does. He goes 7th fastest. He has 2/10 off his previous lap, pushing Heim 0 down into P8. Which Pats for the win takes P goes 7th fastest, pushing Jeep down into 8. And next across the line is the Red Bull of Elip. He does not improve. He has 5/10 off the pace. I think Sinatra has improved though. And next across the line, I think Time Zero. I think he's going to pit this lap. The Aston Martins are both on their out lap, as are the AlphaTauris. Next, Jeep is on a flying lap, it seems, but he is 5/10 off the pace. Pats for the win, just lets Hammer Time through, who is 3/10 off his previous lap. And behind him, I think, who is now 7/10 and spins, and he brings out the yellow flag, and I think that's the AlphaTauri of Amsal who's on the out lap that goes past, and Sinatra is, I think, pitting this lap, and Elip, I think, is still on his flying lap. What time could he produce? Oh, he does not improve. That is 1.3 seconds off the pace. Next across the line is Iconic. He is 1/10 off his previous lap, which will put him into P4 if he could make this lap stick. What time could he produce? He does. Oh, he spins in the final lap using way too much curve there. Next across the line is San, who is matching his previous time. Is he going to
We've got a car leaving the garage.
Improve here? He does improve by 5/10. He is into P10, pushing Hammer Time into P11. Next across the line, I think, is Simple, who is on his out lap. Next to set a record is Amsa on his flying lap. What time could he produce? I think he is doing better than his previous lap, or is he? He is not. He is 8/10 off the pace, and the Red Bull of Elip is pitching now. The two Ferraris are on their out laps, and as is the Alfa Romeo of Time Zero. Next to set a lap time, I think, so San was just disqualified from the session, so that removes his time, which was P10 before. Jeep is on his out lap as well, and Iconic is on a slow lap as well. Anyway, San is down in P16 because he has been disqualified. Simple is matching his previous time and is next to set a record. Never mind, he has just come out of sector 2 around 4/10 slower. And but could he regain that time? No, he is hitting. And next across the line is Amsal. He is 1 second off the pace. And next across the line is Alpha and on his outlap, who is currently on pole position, ahead of his teammate by only 2/100ths of a second. And Langi, I think, just had a slow lap and is about to start his flying lap. And behind him is Sinatra, who is also starting his out lap. I think next across the line with a record was Time Zero, but he just cuts the grass and is abandoning his lap, I think. And I think that is Donavini on his out lap. Next across the line is Jeeb. I think he is possibly on a better lap. And what time could he produce? He makes it a 1:05.8. So he is currently 6 fastest because Iconic has just gone 5th fastest. And this is the Ferrari of Apple Pie. He is 1/10, half a tenth down. And could he produce a faster time? He is 1/10 down his previous time. And right behind that is Hammer Time, and right behind that car is Langi. Can he beat his teammate, who is a 10th faster at the moment? No, he cannot. So I think that's the end of qualifying for the first 4. And that is Iconic spinning. Next across the line is Donavini on his flying lap. He is a second slower than his previous lap. Time 0 is now 2/10 faster. Where's that gonna put him? That puts him, he is actually 4/10 off the pace and is still in P9. Next across the line is Pass for the win, stays 8th fastest. And next across the line is Iconic. He lets the AlphaTauri through.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Is he on a faster lap? No, he is not. Is Langi on a fast lap? No, he's not. Apple Pie is pitting. Next across the line on the flying lap, I think, is Sinatra, who is still on his flying lap. Is he gonna make a... Oh, never mind. I think he is on a slow lap as well, as is Hammer Time. And that is Donavini possibly on a flying lap. Maybe not. And that is it. That is the end of the qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. This is the second race of the day, round 11 of season 9 of F1 Apex League Racing. So there we have it. On pole we have Apple Pie for Ferrari. Right behind him, Langi. The first driver lines up in P2. The two Red Bulls in P3 and 4. Iconic for Aston Martin P5. G for Williams Racing P6. Simple for Haas in P7. Pass for the win for Mercedes in P8. The two Alfa Romeos line up in P9 and 11. And Hammer Time for the McLaren splits the two Alfa Romeos. Human Sweet Potato for Mercedes is in P12, Donavini for Aston Martin in P13, Joe for Haas is in P14, and the two AlphaTauris line finishes up the grid in P15 and P16 with Amsal, the second driver, ahead of the first driver, San, who has been disqualified. So session is starting now. Okay, so this is round 11, second race of the day for those of you joining us now of season 9 F1 Apex League Racing. This is the Austrian Grand Prix. We are in the Red Bull Ring, and the race is just 10 seconds away from the start. We have the two Ferraris in the front row, in the second row with the Red Bulls. So who is going to come out ahead? 5 lights on.
아, 소리 안 들려.
It is lights out and away we go. There is a drive-through penalty for a jump start, and E-Lip makes an excellent start there. And down the inside goes the Williams of Jeep, who has cut the corner a bit, but that is Iconic coming out ahead of Apple Pie. But Apple Pie making a move down the inside, but Iconic makes the better exit and comes out of turn 3 ahead.
왜 3명이야?
Iconic overtakes E-Lip with the better exit. And down the inside goes Apple Pie. Oh, and that is contact between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. And meanwhile, Sinatra gets past Apple Pie during all that. And it is Iconic ahead of E-Lip, ahead of Sinatra, ahead of Apple Pie, ahead of Jeep, ahead of Langi, who has dropped down to P6. That has started, and the and Iconic and E-Lip are pitting. I think due to wing damage, and Iconic has just gotten a 5-second time penalty, and Sinatra is now leading the race. And Apple Pie is right behind him, putting pressure, putting the Red Bull under pressure. And is he going to make a move down around the outside of turn 3? No, he just has to stay behind him. And the DRS is not on at the moment. And Langi, the first driver of Ferrari, is putting pressure under his teammate, as is Simple. on Donavini. Is he gonna make a move down the inside, which he does, and the AlphaTauri, but Donavini fights back. Wheel to wheel racing, very good wheel to wheel racing. Here, Donavini takes the lead down the inside, but is Simple gonna make a
존나
move
무서운데 앞에.
here again? And the 3 cars ahead are making a great battle. I think Simple has to back out of this one. Oh, and a huge crash between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo of Johanheim 0, I think. And Apple Pie and Sinatra Lange has just set the fastest lap, I think. And Simple
이게 뭐야, 봐봐.
here down in P5. And Apple Pie has just overtaken Sinatra. Sorry, we couldn't get that on camera.
Okay, good
But
work. Great
Sinatra
pass.
is now ghosted
Check
at
your
the
left
moment,
knee for a
and that
new
is
strategy
Apple
option.
Pie out
아니
of.
저기 뭐야.
Oh no, that is just his front wing, but
Got
that
that
is a huge
confirmed.
crash for Apple Pie.
아니 저기 인터넷이
into
너무
the wall. That
그냥
is.
싫은데 인터넷이.
I think he needs to pit again to change his front wing. That was a
아니,
huge crash there.
진짜로 저런
And this is
저런 사람이
Simple
컴퓨터로
down
나는
in
레이스
P5.
못해.
Pass for the win, and Donavini.
아얘 저건 진짜 순간이동이잖아 진짜. 추월이 안 돼. 당황해서.
Pitting
And
this lap
we
then,
can
coming to the
just
pits
see
at the end of
the
this lap.
Ferrari of Apple Pie without the front wing. And that is Simple putting
저
pressure on the
저지랄로 하자.
AlphaTauri.
진짜 게임이 안 돼 그러면.
And Lange is just a bit
나만
short
그런가?
with even with the DRS, and gets DRS again. Is he gonna? And that is San ahead of Simple. Maybe that was an overtake, but Lange with the aid of DRS makes the overtake on Sinatra and takes
That
the
was a
lead of the Grand Prix
fantastic stop,
around
faster than we were
down the
expecting.
outside of the straight. But Sinatra does
소리는
he
몇 번을
get
한 거야,
the
도대체?
DRS now? Yes, he does. Is he gonna be able to make
after
an
these tyres
overtake
now,
down
we're
the
gonna finish
inside?
the
He
race on this
does
compound.
not. He's just plays it safe. And meanwhile, Simple is going to be able to make the overtake even before the corner, and that is
앞에서 예측이 안
clean
가.
racing from the 2 drivers. And San is just 2 tenths behind Simple still, and might be able to make an overtake here, but he is just too wide and goes into the grass and the gravel. Trap pass for the win. Meanwhile, is putting pressure under San, and is he gonna make an overtake? No, there is. Oh, and pass for the win spins. Oh, that is unfortunate for him. And Sinatra still under hot pursuit, putting pressure on the Ferrari of Lange with the DRS. Is he gonna make an overtake down the inside? No, he does not. He stays on the outside. Does a switcheroo maybe, but he
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
doesn't get quite the doesn't
The
get
track
quite
is clear.
good
green
enough
flag.
exit, but he does have DRS, but is still quite a bit too far to make that overtake. And that is Elip up to P8 and Jeep up to P9. I think that's Time Zero that has just pitted. And Iconic comes out ahead of Human Sweet Potato. They have been ghosted. Maybe there was contact
탈출
there
이렇게
between the
빙신같이
2 drives.
딱 잡네.
2 cars. And meanwhile, Lange is pulling away from Sinatra to extend his
내
lead
머리가
of the
씨발이네,
Grand Prix,
저기.
but Sinatra is fighting back. He is still within that gap of 1 second to be able to use that DRS, which he opens now. But I think Lange is using that ERS to just stay ahead of Sinatra. Meanwhile, Amsal gets ahead of Joe, who is down at P12, and Jeeb is right behind the Red Bull, and with the DRS, he is going to overtake Elip even before reaching turn 3. And Elip fights back, but he just gets off track, but is able to stay ahead
Next.
of the Alfa Romeo there. And the Alfa Romeo has DRS as well, but is a bit too far to make that overtake on the Red Bull. He is now 5 tenths behind the Red Bull, and this is a 3-car battle between the Williams, Red Bull, and Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo getting quite close to the Red Bull here, and Patch for the Win has just overtaken Marky, who, with the aid of DRS,
Ooh, yo.
Marky has
Yo.
ghosted for some reason. We couldn't quite catch on camera, and Apple Pie is putting pressure on Amstel, the AlphaTauri of Amstel, and is possibly gonna be able to make an overtake here with the aid of DRS down the inside.
Okay, gaps
That
in the car
is
ahead
a huge
9.9
straight line
seconds.
difference, and he does make the overtake, going into P11 now. And Iconic is also putting pressure on the AlphaTauri and goes down the inside to make the overtake stick. That is a very, very clean overtake by Iconic on the AlphaTauri of San. Oh, that was, but San is fighting back, however, just to enable everything else. So in terms of the pit stop, the only one that has pitted, I think, is Apple Pie on the hards, and Patch for the Win on the mediums with 2 laps. And
너무 많이
yes,
막혔는데?
that is that is Simple taking the lead of the race while Langi and Sinatra pits. And that is Donavini right behind Sinatra, who has just come out of the pits, and Sinatra is now 5 tenths right behind Langi. He is going to be able to make that overtake very soon with the aid of DRS. He gets the DRS right away, and I think these are 4 cars very close together. That is Donavini in P5 right behind him, and P6, and the other whole bunch of cars are here behind the Mercedes, and I think Sinatra will get close enough soon to make that overtake with the many DRS we have in Austria. So Simple is now leading the race. Behind him, San. They have not. This is not the net lead, however, because the first 2 have not pitted yet, and the net lead goes to Langi, who is under pressure by Sinatra, the first first driver of Red Bull, and who gets DRS. Langi gets DRS as well, however, because of San, who is ahead, and Langi makes an overtake down the inside, but crashes because with that contact with San. Sinatra does get ahead even with that collision with Langi, and Jeep gets past the Ferrari of Langi. That is very disappointing for the Ferrari, and Human Sweet Potato getting quite close to the 2 Aston Martins ahead. Is there going to be an overtake? Maybe further down the grid behind Zero, who is just 2 tenths behind the Red Bull, but there is no DRS zone coming up
아, 저 씨발이다
for a
다.
while now, so we might just have to wait and see. But however, Amsa is going down the inside, but collides with the Haas, who manages to keep the car under control. Behind Zero does get the DRS, as does Human Sweet Potato. 5 cars are very closely packed together here behind the 2 Aston Martins. And is anyone going to be able to make an overtake? I don't think they will at the moment, but Heim Zero is getting quite close to the Red Bull. Might he envision a overtake down the inside here? No, he is just quite too tries to avoid contact there, but he does get ahead of Human Sweet Potato, who braked just a bit too late, and that um, uh, in that maneuver. So leading the race at the moment is Simple on the medium tires. He has, however, not pitted yet. As is the case with San and Jeep, who is on 10-lap old hard tires. So the net lead goes to Sinatra on the medium tires with 3 laps under the belt. Behind him, the net lead, net P2, I should say, goes to Langi, and we are on board with the Alfa Romeo, and Joe has just pitted, and that is a safety car, I think. Yes, that is.
Right, let's have you in.
Yes, that is the full safety car, brought out by Joe's DNF in the.
Okay, slow down.
Just before.
Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Just before turn 1, and Amsal has just gotten a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag, and Heim Zero almost spins out, but is able to keep the car under control. Meanwhile, Simple hits under the safety car, which is just the dream strategy for him. So he is able to keep the lead, but he is just behind Langi, who has pitted earlier and is on the mediums. However, Simple is on the faster softs. Sinatra has pitted again. I think he is on the softs as well. San is on the softs as well. So those drivers who have not pitted before the safety car has gained a massive advantage over the ones that had pitted before the safety car, and the net lead now evens out, and Langi is currently leading the Grand Prix. Right behind him is the Haas of Simple, behind him Sinatra in the Red Bull, behind him San, ahead of Iconic. Now Human Sweet Potato has now gotten a 5-second penalty for a severe collision, and San ahead of Iconic, ahead of the Ferrari of Applefly, ahead of Elip, ahead of the Human Sweet Potato, who has just gotten the penalty with that collision with the Elip, ahead of Donavino, ahead of Jeep, and ahead of Patch for the win, ahead of Heim Zero, and those cars have just gotten a bit too close. Are ghosted at the moment there. Why are they? I think they're just straightening out the order. So Amsel just comes out ahead of that. So in P11 is Jeep. Amsel gets another 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. And Heim Zero is in P12, P13, Patch for the win. Is ahead of Hammer Time, ahead of Marky. And Joe in the Haas has retired. Wow, that was hectic 13 laps. We are now on lap 13 out of the 18 of the Austrian Grand Prix. We're racing now in the Red Bull Ring, where the Ferrari of Langi is taking the lead of the race. However, he is on older medium tires compared to Simple and Sinatra, who are on 1 lap old soft tires, and Heim Zero has just retired from the race. We don't know quite for sure why, but I'm assuming there has been an incident there just now, and Hammer Time has gotten a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Pass for the win. As it is always in our league, chaos during the safety car, which is going in this lap. And Langi is going to be controlling this pack, is warming his tire nice and slowly. It should be a great safety car restart. We will have here. Amsel gets another 5-second penalty. If he keeps this up, he is going to get disqualified. He has multiple penalties at the moment.
진짜. 뭐 하는 거야 앞에서?
Out of the final corner, Jeep gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Hammer Time. And Langi, we go racing again. It's the green flag, and Langi pulls away nicely behind him. Simple ahead of Iconic, ahead of Sinatra, ahead of San, ahead of Apple Pie, ahead of E-Lip. Sinatra getting very close to the Aston Martin here. He goes down the inside. The Aston Martin gets ghosted, so no collision there. But
흘렀잖아.
Apple Pie does get ahead of San, who is fighting back. Apple Pie slight, that is E-Lip slightly ahead, and
5 laps of fuel left.
San has just retired from that crash. They got very close there. Iconic is getting close to the Haas ahead, putting the Haas under pressure, just 5/10 between the two. Of course, and Apple Pie in the Ferrari, meanwhile putting pressure on the Red Bull, just 2/10 behind the two. In between the two cars, mind you, we don't have DRS because of the safety car restart, so this is going to be a drag race, only with the aid of the slipstream. Apple Pie getting out of turn 1 very nicely, but Sinatra gets a good exit as well, so Apple Pie does get closer for the slipstream. He is making a switcheroo move down the inside. Is he gonna get a better exit? But he does not come out ahead, but he does get a slipstream on Sinatra and makes the move down the inside. That was a brilliant overtake from Sinatra. He faked the move down from out. He faked a move around the outside, then switched to the inside. That was a brilliant overtake by Apple Pie. That was just some great racing we have just witnessed there. And he is putting pressure on Iconic as well, who is on older medium tires. This should be pretty easy even without the DRS. Meanwhile, Jeep is getting very close to the Mercedes, but Apple Pie is gonna get this overtake here, quite possibly with the DRS, which Iconic gets as well because he is within that second. But is that Ferrari of Apple Pie gonna make the move down the inside? He just can't quite make that move stick. He does not get a good exit out of turn 3. Sinatra does, because no pressure was present there. This is Donavini out of turn 3. It is not a good exit enough to make an overtake there, but Apple Pie at the moment is putting pressure on the Aston Martin of Iconic. Just 3/10 now between the two, almost 2/10 now, with the slipstream and the DRS at the start of the pit lane, pit straight. I think Apple Pie will get this overtake done on Iconic, but Iconic does get DRS as well, so possibly after the straight after turn 1, he does get a very good exit. But everyone, here's a DRS train. Is Apple Pie gonna make an overtake on the Aston Martin down the inside? He is close enough too, but that is a huge crash between Simple and Iconic. And Simple, but they the order stays the same. The two cars, that was a huge crash, getting on top of each other, and this DRS trade is still close between each other. So Langi is currently leading the race with 1 lap left to go after this lap, of course. And Apple Pie is getting very close to Iconic again. Is he gonna get an overtake done out of the final corner of the lap? He is gonna get DRS here, however Iconic is gonna get that DRS as well. Iconic is getting closer to Simple. Is he gonna get an overtake done around the outside? But he gets ghosted, so into second place goes Iconic. And that is Apple Pie that gets past the Haas, who makes an tries to make an overtake around the outside, which he does make a stick. Apple Pie does get the DRS.
앞으로 좀 가라 제발.
Is able
어.
to stay right behind Simple, who is staying right behind Iconic. And I think there just might be another overtake there before the end of this race. Well, Langi is going to come home with, and that's a move by Sinatra on Apple Pie, and Apple Pie has just been ghosted there. Maybe there was an incident there.
아
Langi,
진짜
who
앞에
the
너무
man who
느려.
has started in P2 behind his teammate comes home to win in the 10 laps medium. In P1, he wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Iconic comes in P2 right behind him.
개짱나
Simple
진짜.
comes in
앞에
P3
너무 느려.
to finish the podium places. And Sinatra comes in P4, Apple Pie P5, even with the serve penalty. And Human Sweet Potato is in P7, right behind P6. E-Lip, the second Red Bull. And Donavini comes in P8 ahead of Jeep, ahead of Pats for the win, ahead of Hammer Time, ahead of Amsal, ahead of Marky. And the three retirees of the Austrian Grand Prix are Sanheim Zero and Joe. Wow. That was a great race. But I would have to say the highlight was the overtake by Apple Pie on one of the Red Bulls. I can't seem to remember which one, but he made a switcheroo move out of turn 3, faked a move with DRS around the outside, but did a quick switch down the inside.
너무
That
느려.
was just great racing and
진짜,
very, very clean, very skillful maneuver by Apple Pie. I'd say
진짜로.
that is the highlight of the race. Driver of the day is
아
Iconic.
미치는 줄 알았어
So,
진짜. 와.
there we have it. Langi is the winner of the Season 9 Austrian Grand Prix. And behind him, Iconic takes... Oh, Langi takes
빨스 러블.
fastest lap as
빨리 다
well.
그냥 앞에서 못 잡으면
And
뒤진다.
Iconic is in P2 with Simple
깨달았어.
P3 finishing rounding up the podium places. Sinatra is in P4, Apple Pie P5, E-Lip P6, Human Sweet Potato in P7, Donavini in P8, Jeep is in P9, Pats for the Win is in P10, Hammer Time in P11, Amsel is in P12, Marky in P13, and Sanheim Zero Joe are in P14, 15, 16th respectively, and they have all retired from the Austrian Grand Prix. And that is it for round 11 of season 9 of F1 Apex League Racing, and we are now moving on to the final race of the day, of the race weekend. Wow. Great race we have seen today. That was epic and hectic. Okay, so final race of today. We are heading to France to Circuit Paul Ricard. So if everyone could just ready up, because I think everyone's in here, let's move on to
아
the
미치는
final
줄 알았다 방금
race
진짜.
of the day and of the race weekend. This is round 12 of season 9 F1 Apex League Racing. Good luck everyone. For those of you who are driving, let me go get some water. And we're back. 18 minutes again on the clock. This is the qualifying for round 12 of season 9 F1 Apex League Racing. The poll from the previous race was I think if I'm remembering correctly, it was Apple Pie. That was on poll just now.
Okay, when you're ready, let's go.
Yes. But the race win his teammate took. Ronnie in the Ferrari, the first driver. And we're back to qualifying. So first one to exit the pits, as usual, are the two AlphaTauri. Sam comes out first. He is the first one to start his outlap and flying lap. And behind him is Amsal, the second driver of AlphaTauri. Behind him, Jeep and the Williams. And behind him, that is the Ferrari of Apple Pie. And behind him is Simple and the Haas. So let's go on board with San, who will start his flying lap first. Let's see how he does in Circuit Paul Ricard. We are in France for the French Grand Prix. This is round 12 of season 9 F1 Apex League Racing. And out of the final few corners, he didn't quite get an excellent, perfect exit out there, but still Sam crosses the line to start his flying lap. Great turn in, couldn't quite take all the apex in. Didn't spin here though, which many people do. And uses all of the apex, try not to spin here as well, or here, and try to get a good exit. Use all the apex inside here for the run up till the long straight. DRS goes on, and this seems to be a pretty solid lap for Sam at the moment. Mind you, we have our track limits on regular, so I don't think anyone would get their lap records erased. Anyway, San is still going nicely ahead into sector 3. Oh, he goes a bit too wide here, but gets a good run up down the inside of that apex there. Tried to get a good exit out here, but is a bit too wide. Couldn't quite clip the apex in there. And he's rounding up the final few corners to come in. What time is he going to be able to produce? He took way too much curb on the final corner there, but his time is 1 minute 34. That would be the benchmark for provisional pole. And his teammate Amsal is going into the pits. Next to cross the line is Jeep and the Williams. What time could he produce? That is 133.2. He takes provisional pole. And Apple Pie, next to cross the line, gets 130.8. Takes provisional pole by a margin, to say the least. And Simple, next to cross the line, what time could he produce? He goes second fastest with a 1 minute 32.7. Next across the line is one of the Mercedes Human Sweet Potato. What time could he produce? He goes fifth fastest with a 1 minute 34.3. And next across the line is one of the Mercedes and of Donavini, who is just coming out of the final corner. What time could he produce? It looks like The 34s, he goes 6 fastest, 1 minute 34, and his teammate Iconic goes second fastest with a 1 minute 31.9. Next across the line is San again, trying another lap perhaps. Yes, he is, but he doesn't have enough fuel to complete that lap. Next across the line is Sinatra. What time could he produce? But he is, I think, on a slow lap. Next across the flying lap on a flying lap is Joe. What time could he produce? I think it would be a 34 or a 35. He makes it 1 minute 35.2. Goes 8 fastest, pushing Sinatra. And P9, mind you, hasn't set an actual lap. That is probably just a slow lap from him. And next across the line is Langi on his flying lap. What time could he produce? And is he going to be able to beat his teammate on provisional pole? No, he goes second fastest with a 1 minute 31.5. Hammer time comes in 6th fastest, pushing San down to P7, now down to P8 with because Pass for the Win has just gone 5th fastest with a 1 minute 32.8. Next to cross the line is the never mind, he is pitting now. And Amsal is now starting his out lap. Next across the line is Sinatra, who is, I believe, on a flying lap. So let's see what time he could produce, and could he take provisional pole? He has not set a pole time for a while now, and we are just eager to see if he will make a difference here. He gets a very nice exit. He is not into the 30s, but into the 30. He goes 3rd fastest, right behind Langi, 3/10 behind the 2, and next to cross the line, I believe. So San is just making way for the Ferrari, who is on a slow lap. He is 2.7 seconds off his previous time. Hammer time is also, I think, on a slow lap. And Pass for the Win,
so
I think, might be on a flying lap.
1:30.8.
We will just have to wait and see. Hammer time, I think, is committed to his lap. What time could he make? Oh, he is off the pace.
먹었어.
Pass for the Win is pitting as well. The next AlphaTauri to cross the line. Amsal is on his flying lap. What time could he produce? He is just going through the last few corners of the track, nicely out of the final corner. I think he will be able to set a pretty... actually, that is P13. He goes 13 fastest, right ahead of the 2 who has not set a lap yet. And on that note, EA Lip, who has not set a lap yet, is on his out lap. He has just exited the pits, and Heim Zero is still in the pits. Has not set a record yet. Next, to cross the line, Jeeb is going to start his out lap right ahead of the 2 who has not set a lap yet. And who hasn't set an actual lap. That is probably just a slow lap from him. And next across the line is Langi on his flying lap. What time could he produce? And is he going to be able to beat his teammate on provisional pole? No, he goes second fastest with a 1 minute 31.5. Hammer time comes in 6th fastest, pushing San down to P7, now down to P8 with because goes 13 fast corner.
We're currently 10th in the speed trap.
어?
333.5 kilometers per
지금
hour.
Actually, that
2.3 바로 8서 빠르고 똑같이 들었네. 될 것 같은데? 방해받는데? 28점? 28? 방해 오지게 받았는데? Kick us right, but he can. 잡았겠다. 저 방해 안 봤으면. 방해를 너무 심하게. 방해 안 받았으면 깼겠다. 내기로. 안 찍어야지. 귀찮다. 온도가 너무 심해요. 나갈까? 한번 얘기상.
So our best lap so far is a 1 minute 30.8.
You are ball position. ball position. 아니 1초 중간 선이 없어가지고 1, 2등은 정해져 있어. 지금 저 밑에가 이제 그들만 리고고. 좀 핫하게 할까? 타이어? 한 번 더? 낮으니까 트랙 온도가.
All set, we're ready to go, so let's get the car out onto the track.
뭐 하는 거야? 아니, 뭐 하는 거야? 추워 안 하고 빨리. 학자당했는데? 이거 안 할래.
Okay, 1 minute remaining, just 1 minute.
학자당했는데? 아닌데? 스피너 해야겠다.
And that's just 30 seconds left in the session.
에이씨, 좀 기다려주다가. 기다려. 아, 쫄 숙제가. 아, 끝냈어.
Okay, so their best lap time is a 1:30.6.
좀 쳐나보다. 스피는 척. 스피는 척. 개 같은 인터넷에서 어떻게 들지? 어. 이렇게 바로? 이게 맞나 보지. 아, 갑자기 귀찮네. 소리 또 안 나나 설마?
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
그게 안 뜨네. 계속 실수하네.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs. Green flag. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 24.5 seconds. Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push. And that's just 5 laps of fuel remaining. Understood. Stopping this lap.
어씨. 이게 먹네. 아. 이런 것 같은데.
Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. that was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
스위치. 아, 초라하네. 이상해. 아, 방금 진짜 병심할 수 있었어. 할수 있나, 이거?
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, the gap behind is 3.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 33.3.
아, 못 벌리겠다. 아 페이스 훨씬 빠른데. 페널티.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Okay, this is your final lap, the final lap of the race.
아 짜증나. 아 스피드 해가지고.
Get that overtake done. Jeep goes up to P6 because of that penalty Pats for the win had. Heim Zero comes in P9 and Donavini in P10 with that last points position. And San with that with multiple penalties, mind you, comes in P11. P12 is Human Sweet Potato, but is he going to get ahead with that time penalty that San has? No, he's not. Human Sweet Potato is in P12, and behind him is Hammer Time. And the two retirees of the race is Joe and Amsal. So there we have it. Race start, pole position, Langi, who is driver of the day as well. Pole position was Langi. His teammate Apple Pie overtook him, took the lead of the race, came home first. However, had a 5-second time penalty due to due to speeding in the pit lane. So although Apple Pie overtook Langi for the race lead in lap 1 and kept that race lead, the man who started on pole position comes home to win the French Grand Prix round 12 of season 9. This is the last race of the day and of the race weekend. Thank you for watching, everyone. So there we have it. Langi comes home first. Sinatra comes in second. Apple Pie, who came in first, but with that 5-second time penalty, is in P3. Although he does have that fastest lap point. Yelip is in P4. Iconic P5. Jeep is in P6. Pats for the win is in P7. Simple P8. Heim Zero is in P9. Donavini P10 with the last points finish. San is in P11. Human Sweet Potato P12. Hammer Time is in P13. And Joe and Amsa retired on the first lap with an incident, a huge crash with Joe. And Joe